Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friends. Welcome. Pre-market here at SpartanTrading.com, Wednesday morning. Welcome to those of you who are joining us with our live YouTube stream. We do every Wednesday. This just isn't shows you what we do every day, Monday through Friday, as long as the markets are open. Lots of, stuff to talk about, big stuff that we have to talk about. Let's look at the macro environment first. Obviously China's got some really big time issues, right? Australia, the CPI, I watch this because it's a pure understanding on a macro side, what's going on in the Asia Pacific Rim. So Australia is the bellwether that I like to look at. Dallas Fed services numbers were better than expected, except on the revenue side, right? So we're seeing improvement there, right? Housing prices, everything was stronger than expected, right? Consumer confidence as well, stronger than expected. So we have the central banking forum and Powell's on the panel. And that starts at 9:30, okay? All right, so let's talk a little bit about the sound bites we're hearing overnight on this. First off, ECB members who are talking are basically trying to find a way to pause. It's not that they're blinking, but I mean, Germany's already in a recession, right? Europe is not far behind. It's just really, really difficult optics, okay, when you aggressively hike. Well, we know the drill, right? I think a pause is probably warranted, but don't forget, they did not draw down the balance sheet as much as we drew down our balance sheet. So the inversions on the front of the curve is not as bad as what they are here in the United States. Rubber meets the road. Look, this is a special set of circumstances that we have never, ever, ever seen before. As a result of that, anyone who is looking back in time historically, okay, and trying to basically put a round peg into a square hole, okay, is going to struggle. And we know this because the brightest of the bright have been wrong for a long time now, because the paradigm is not anything that from a computer standpoint, going back in time, you can extrapolate to. You can get ideas about it, but like the delay, okay, could be like, 7 months, 24 months in terms of a recession when you get an inversion like that. But when you still have quantitative easing in the background, okay, that basically takes off all the guardrails that you would normally use. And this is why I get very, very frustrated, because the brightest of the bright think they have an answer to the problem, to the question. And I say, we have as much statistical probability of being right as they have. Now, I'm going to follow the dudette who has been right since October, and that's twins, okay? I've been pretty good about it too, but I'm going to basically defer to him because he's an asset manager in the room, right? He's still finding things to buy. He's trimming back because of his profits. But if he said the other day, if he did not have the gains that he had from October of last year, he would not be selling. The institutions are still way behind in terms of their earnings, their percentages, their profits. Okay, you have to take unprecedented risk as a result of that. Tops don't happen this way. When everybody calls a top, it doesn't happen that way. And that's Keynesian Theory 101. So let's see what happens. I actually think it's going to be a little bit more dovish out of this panel today, but we'll see. I may be totally wrong. We'll see. Lagarde, who's the hawkish of the hawk. This is the female version of Powell. Not Powell, Volcker, okay? She walks the walk, talks the talk. She doesn't blink. She doesn't give a damn. She's a Volcker, a female Volcker. Bring it on. Now, if she starts to soften some of the rhetoric, that would be a big deal. Somewhere along the line, these guys have to blink because of the delay in terms of all of these rate hikes to see how it's going to look on the economy. Somewhere along the line, they have to blink. Right? Right. Okay. What do we got? Today, earnings, we already had General Mills came out better than expected, BlackBerry all day. Canadian Pacific Kansas CP is out with an Investor Day presentation. Multiplan Corporation, yada, yada. And here we have it, Bank of England, and everybody's talking. Okay, it's a forum. Right? Roblox, 12 o'clock. AI discussion with Morgan Stanley today. And then don't forget, at the close today, we get the stress test. Now, this actually can be quite positive. Well, first off, one would hope, okay, that these idiots at the Fed are putting into their model the yield curve inversion. One would hope. Now, as what we all know, this is why the incompetence on so many levels, on so many tiers across the board, in terms of the government, is just stunning. Okay, like just stunning. I'm just saying, stunning, right? So we'll see how that plays out. And then we have Micron, AMD, okay, conference, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Micron, da, 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 da. Tomorrow morning, we got pre-open. And then we have really Nike. This is the one I'm kind of really interested in. Okay, what do we have? General Mills better than expected, a little bit soft on the top, but on the bottom, but no guidance was the same. And you can see him. So, Morgan Stanley's bet. Now, this is really interesting. Exotic Ukrainian debt bonds. 3.2 billion in August 2041 notes with payouts linked to economic growth jumped by nearly 50%, 38 cents yesterday. Okay, that's a big payday for them, right? Global risk demand index is now in a tactical sell. Yeah, but once again, you are in a bull market, you are going to get pullbacks. That's a given. The same way in a bear market, you're going to have bounces, okay? It's so much more complex than basically a chart, right? It's so much more complex. This is where you see the rebalance that we've been talking about. I said, what I thought for the next few months I wanted to be in, right? And those are all working well for me right now, okay? This all should make sense to everybody. Semi-seasonality strength doesn't start till August. So it's up, down, all the way around and stuff like that. And we'll talk about this quote unquote retaliation on the chip side by China. But it hasn't happened, but the market's scared, okay? Small stocks trade at a wide discount relative to large versus history, okay? Margins, high, low, yada, yada, yada. Valuations here, size, small versus large. Okay. This is important. This is opportunity. Just saying, this is opportunity. Russell 2000 net leverage has declined, but it's still elevated. All right, so net debt divided by EBITDA, right? Now, this is kind of interesting, right? This is the S&P 500. Russell. This is the percentage of companies that are expected to be unprofitable in the coming year. This is a problem. What is your current equity position or sentiment in historical terms expressed with most bearish? Okay, 23%, 8%. Okay. Are you more likely to increase or decrease equity exposure over the coming days, weeks? Planning to increase equity exposure. Current is 36%. That's right. I love my ad. He's an old school kind of guy. I'm in 480 calls on Lily. Look, I cannot. Twins and I have been really adamant about this on Lily for months. Twins has been in it since God was a little boy or girl, they, right? But that doesn't count. What only counts is, all-time high breakout recent that we've been pounding the table on, that I've been hawking the table. I have 480 calls for this week. See what happens. Anyways, I digress. But this is the problem. And it continues to be the problem. This is why all of these statistics, because of the indices, is skewed and not representation of what's actually going on. When you have so few, 7, 8 stocks, whatever, that overlap, okay, that have been ripping up the wazoo, right? And the rest of them is mired in muck in terms of breath, okay? The indices are not representational, and this is why they keep looking at the indices, and I say, why? They don't mean a damn thing. Global distribution of total wealth. There you go, 145 trillion in the United States, China 85, Japan, yada, 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 yada. India, that's coming up fast and furious, right? Same. Equity holdings. Now this is BlackRock's. Pretty cool, huh? 170 billion Apple. Microsoft, 155 billion in NVIDIA. My top 2 holdings are Apple and Microsoft, right? And that's basically XLK. It's top 2 holdings of XLK. Amazon down here, right? ExxonMobil a little bit, not much, right? And then you've got a huge drop off, right? So I'm just saying, right? That's what it looks like. This is visual capitalist data stream. This is Vanguard, net assets, distribution, what's it, different funds and stuff like that. Working hours. Okay, this is really getting interesting. Okay, annual working hours. Right. So Germany, they work the least. Well, you see this. I mean, my nephew, who's now a Swiss citizen, he lives in Switzerland. He basically has like 2 months off in the summer. Something like that. And here we are in the United States. But we're coming down. We're coming down. I love these sorts of graphs. Market capitalization, emerging markets, developed markets. All right, let's move on. Valuations well above, meaningless. Meaningless. Okay. Okay, so this is really interesting. Okay. How much do US adults think they need to save for retirement? 1.3 million expected needed, and this is how much they have saved, all ages. Right? 113,000 versus 930. This is the problem, right? And this is why I don't know what happens, to be honest with you. I don't know. This is a bad thing, right? So all you people out there, okay, I don't care what color you are, right? Guess what? You're screwed. You're all screwed, okay? Because guess what? If you don't have the money to retire, you don't retire. And this is where we poo-poo the government, but when you come to the time where you need money and you don't have money, guess what? You're going to ask for the government for money. I'm just saying, that's just human nature. factory orders confidence, so many interesting data. BFE's pill second round effects stronger in tight labor market. Okay, so like I say, they're talking all about this stuff, pills talking, right? We also had some other talking heads. Where they were. ECBs, we will see on rates after July move. Pause. Okay. All right. Another one. Pause. Right. So all of these different talking heads are starting to say, maybe pause. Copper stocks are basically in the shitter. I don't care. I'm a buyer down here. Why? Infrastructure. Maybe weeks, months, years, I don't care. Just keep buying. 15-year low, I'll take a little bit. I'll keep adding on. Right? Many are underestimating the announcement from the Shanghai Clearinghouse, which has implemented digital yuan clearing and settlement services for commodity trading. Who is the biggest producer of gold? China. Who controls the real supply chain? China. Right? Oh, this is interesting, right? Japan's fiscal year 2022 tax revenues to top 71 trillion yen. Pretty cool, right? So this is Bitcoin gold. This is really impressive, and I actually think this is going to happen. That's why I'm slowly starting to get into the Bitcoin stuff. Got it. Rate cuts could come sooner than markets expect. So this is our Walter Bloomberg, and he's basically going through this stuff. The timing of this is impossible to figure this out. Impossible. Okay, you can say, you can postulate, you can do whatever you want to do, but good luck with that. M2 yearly growth. Okay, so this is the actual problem. Now, granted, we had this amazing quantitative easing stuff, but this goes back to the early 1900s, okay? Right. We've never seen this sort of decline, except with the Great Depression, when you saw this sort of M2 yearly growth decline over inflation, and there's inflation as well, okay? This is the problem. This is the problem. This is what it looks like when you have an incompetency going on with quantitative easing, balance sheet. Now you've got such a tightness in the M2, where Janet Yellen, you can say whatever you want to say about it, I don't care. One thing she's been right about is tightness in the lending markets. Okay, we know this to be true. We know because what happened in March, banks aren't lending the way they were lending. We know this, okay? You have to have, I don't even know, you have to have an A++, plus I'm sure they do a deep dive, plus whatever else in order to get a loan nowadays. Small business aren't getting any loans, right? This has deleterious impact longer term, but I don't know when that hits, okay? So this could be a credit macro event, right? Created by the incompetence of our government. This incompetence spreads across multiple election cycles, guys. This is not something that just happened overnight. Starts from 2008. And I keep saying this. Lots of presidents have been in, okay, regime changes, right? But nobody addressed the elephant in the room, quantitative easing. The building of the balance sheet. Plan to capture Russian military leaders? Yeah, I don't think he's done. The US looks to tighten the tech squeeze on China. Okay, so this is tit for tat. So this is why everybody's saying, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This is a natural progression, but I'll be honest with you, I really don't know. I know that there was a piece someone posted, I think Roger posted it in a response. No, it was Twins, okay, coming out of Evercore. Right, in response to the potential. So anyways, okay. Stocks, yeah, we know. Spying scandal inside a massive US utility. What? Summertime special, cheaper natural gas, yeah. Supreme Court's redistricting rulings have boosted Democrats' chances in the House. Look, the Supreme Court is heavily weighted to basically red. And even if they say, you're going too far, okay, I'm just saying, right? This is fact, right? I'm just saying. So, whatever. Nobody wants to buy a fixer. Don't forget, we're going to start getting more and more. Now, what's really interesting is no debates. Trump will not do a debate, which is kind of fascinating. We haven't had anything like that before, unless he starts to trail. I mean, I don't know. You tell me. All right, take a strongest S&P segment. No duh. See the top 10. We know. Snowflake rises once again, sees favorable risk reward after the investor day, right? Pfizer, Opca Health, when FDA nod for dwarfism therapy. Interesting. Micron earnings, we know. Chip war heats up as U.S. set to roll new curbs on exports to China. There we go. Stress test. Future suffer, China, whatever. But you know, nobody said anything out of China. Boots on the ground. She hasn't said anything. Nothing's coming out of China. Just saying. Just saying. What do we have yesterday? This is, a lot of this was rolling out in what we would normally see in rebalancing or rolling out, paper replacement, stuff like that. My dilemma continues to be that the volume is just has been light, not just for the summertime, it's been light for months and months and months on the option side. So the only thing we really see the volume in is when you get these retail names going, and then you got the peeps going after them. That's the thing that we've been seeing right now. And that should make sense to everybody, right? Nothing going on here in terms of insider buying. Right? So, as you can see, what do we got? All right, upgrades. These are homes, Wedbush, neutral to outperform, but no price. LECO, Lincoln Electric, Ken, B of A, XPO, Old Dominion. So you can see here on the rail side doing stuff, right? Old Dominion, ODFL has been in strong seasonality, and I mentioned this multiple times. And that's why I basically am in TPOR, which is the transportation ETF. And I don't know, I know I posted it for the room that I was getting into this, and this is up really nicely. So it's up 22%. So since I shouted it out, so this is how I do things. Wells Fargo, I can't get excited. Pins, obviously new analyst at Wells Fargo. God bless, right? Downgrades. I mean, Delic, Vive, right? WMS, pretty much, yeah, overweight to equal weight, right? We have a sell here, right? Yeah, it's tough to get excited, right? Here we go. Let's get excited. So I'm seeing more and more, like I say, on the mining side. And I showed you yesterday that I felt that the miners are going to pick up against the physical. So we'll see how all of this starts to play out. But the XTO, nice little juicy initiation, outperform. Right? Wix, well, you know I've been pounding the table on Wix. For those of you who've been anyways, I'm in it. We'll see what happens. GoDaddy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What do we got? Monolith. Ross, this is kind of interesting. Abbott Labs. Small traders are getting pulled up. Now, this is what's really interesting about this is we're still down here when we should be up here. Okay, so this is one of these divergences I've been talking about. But on the surface, it looks like, but in reality, it isn't. Okay. Here we have here, this is put buying is coming down, but look at where it's at. It's still up here. So this is just an interesting conundrum. So this is the put call ratio, right? Like I say, I just think this is fascinating. Actually, let's see what the AAII comes out to be. Hasn't come out yet. Let's see what that looks like. All right. So this is a pullback or the start of something more ominous. Right? 5 out of 6 session close low. But when you notice that, okay, when you have that happens, does anyone notice it's close to a bottom? This one is not, but these are bottoms, right? This is a bottom, right? This is a bottom. Anyways, let's see what it says. 1 week out, Z-score, wow. Woo. Seriously. And guess what? Market's up, flat to up. Oh, jeez. Come on. After closing down 5 out of 6 for one, right? Flat to up, it's flat. Okay, the damage is done. And then you go out 1 year, up, double digits. This is why all of these headlines, right? The goal is, right, to sell tickets. It's like a P.T. Barnum guy shouting outside, right? Please don't ask me who P.T. Barnum is or the expression. Okay, just Google it. Here's a 30-year cycle. All right, so we are now, right, in a 30-year cycle for commodities that lasts 15 years. It's crazy. I didn't even know this. So this is 20. This is interesting. I think it's interesting. 15-year period going back. I kind of like that. All right. So differential average. This is commodities versus stocks. Commodities, stocks, average. Difference. This is interesting. I'll have to do some research on this one. Never too old to learn, guys, gals, friends. I started in 1979 in the markets. I still learn every single day. And if you can't learn every single day, you really need to rethink what you're doing in life. Right? Hi, Rosie's. Yeah, but nothing much. I mean, seriously. And this, you see the reset happened overseas, right? Sensex, Nifty, I'm in India. And here we have this is the 3 days, right? Here's the 5 days, right? Nothing here to be worried about. Right? All right, let's take a look at bonds. Yield curve continues to invert. This 2 years, just nasty business going on right now, friends. This is the one, the elasticity of this is, but okay, so why is this happening, right? This is man-made. Well, the expression, right? This is the Fed's doing. The Fed owns this. They don't admit to owning it yet, but they own it. They need to own it because this is factual. Rates down across the board, like I say, right? The problem still is tight lending, right? Money supply. And Yellen has been talking about this. Like I say, don't please. But she got this right about liquidity in terms of the M2 money supply. And I think all these central banks are starting to say, there you go. Here's the 2.5. Here's the 2.10. Knock, knock, knocking on this low. Okay. This still has room on the downside, but I'll be honest with you. I know that the inversion isn't dramatic, but still, this is just not what you want to see. Let's take a look at the 3 against the 10. This is my indicator, 3-month 10-year spread. This is the old school indicator. And as you can see here, the front end, okay. But if you look at the 3-month 10-year, this is 1980s Volcker. This is what it looks like. And here's the measurements also in terms of the forecast off of the 3-month 10-year is March 2024 in terms of the farthest it can be for a recession. And then this is September in theory. But you can see here 11 bars, this is 14 bars, et cetera. Okay, so this gets back to that narrative. It can be between, 7, 6 to 24 months in terms of the lag time. We'll find out. Okay. China, you know the drill here, right? And then you have here, this is German, right? Okay, so once again, we have a multi-year consolidation pattern happening. Okay. Everything started in September 2022, these consolidation, right, from peak to trough. Okay, I have no idea how this breaks out. All I can tell you is when it does break out, this thing is going to be crazy town. I mean, literally crazy town. Okay, one way or the other, crazy town. Dollar, still holding this extension. This is a massive triangle. You can see that, right? It's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. So this is measurable. So see how that plays out. Chinese yuan, cryptos, Bitcoin. So right now, Bitcoin is kind of pinned between the reversion to the mean. This is the mid of the Bollinger, as well as the 20 EMA and the monthly. Okay. Consolidation, this is healthy consolidation. Should start the next leg up, but work to be done. It could come back down here, but I don't think it will. Bitcoin, Ethereum, a little bit above the mid. You can see the mids right here. And here's Ethereum doing nothing right now. Let's take a quick look at commodities. Down, 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 down. So probably 80% is down today. What's up? Natty gas, of course, gasoline, cotton, cocoa, and then feeder cattle. Now, don't forget, when you look at these cattle and stuff like this, this is consumer prices. Right? Natty gas. Look at you. Starting to tune up here, LFG. I still am overweight, but I have a small position on in Boyle. Okay, but I'm not getting out of it. I'm up 25% on this trade. And I have it's 3-to-1 ratio. And that is really not a big spread right now. I'm just going to let it go. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to let this piece go. Okay. I don't have a lot of them. Crude. All right, knock, knock, knock on the store. I'm in SCO as a hedge. I'm in DRIP as a hedge. I still think the physical is more important right now, but we'll see how it plays out. It's just early days yet still. Gold, crude. Gold is really doing well against crude. It's heavily traded. Once again, these spreads equal no dollar exposure. When you're dealing in commodities, you don't want a dollar exposure. And here's gold, basically breaking down here. I got my dust on, you know the drill. Can't do a damn thing with it until something happens here. 38.2%, more than likely we're gonna get down here on a continuation until it reclaims and holds this pivot, this zone right here, 1947. Okay, market, down, slightly small cap, whatever. Nothing, fixes down to, yup, up, yup's up. We like that, Hang Seng down, China up. Right, Nifty 50, I love you. And then you go from there, right? So Europe is starting to tell me, because of all that's going on right now, is that they're going to start pausing. Okay, so this would see a nice, you would anticipate, right, a nice little rally if that is the case out of Europe. Let's see how it plays out. FAS actually held down here and bouncing. That's pretty impressive right now, actually. FXI still holding this double bottom and got a double top. So waiting for Godot. Hey, shares, let's see what's going on here. This is interesting. Okay, so what am I looking at? I want to see if there's any A-shares call sweeps that are coming in. Okay, every single time it really happens, but when it does happen, whoever does this is really bright because they pick the bottom. So I will follow it, Polly. I love it, twins. We're in this stuff. I mean, the only reason why I'm, you know, I love Medtronics. The only reason why I'm in ISRG is because of twins. That's the only reason why I'm in it. And he and I, you know, I love a UNH and I think it's going higher, but what do I know? Anyways. K-Web, same thing, double bottom, double top, whatever. All right, let's get to Infamous. All right, this is the one thing that concerns me right now. Okay. Statistically, well, when this happens, statistically, it can happen with the CQQQ ripping. And yes, it can. Okay, it can. But 9 times out of 10, it's more a function of the Q selling on. Okay, we still have this triple top. Now, the positive side to this spread is as follows. It's in the upper quadrant still, holding, okay? Still holding above the reversion to the mean, the mid, okay? So this is the mid of the channel, okay? I don't know. All right, so what am I in? Basically, I'm in Baba, I'm in Baidu, I'm in JD, okay? I'm in some yen, I got a little bit of yang, yada, 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 okay? But my overweight right now is Baidu, okay? So let's see how that plays out. And that was down here, you know, still in it. JD, same thing, still looks cheap down here. And here's Bobalicious. Okay. Mired in muck. All right, let's take a look at the VXN. So this is for the NASDAQ, right? This is the volatility for the NASDAQ. Now, does anyone notice anything here? Okay. The NASDAQ volatility has not gone down to the extreme that the VIX has gone down, right? I'm just saying, historically, right? I'm just saying, this goes back to 2021. We can look at it a monthly if you want to. Okay. All right, so here's where we are at, right? Okay. And this is the extreme down here. This is one of those divergences that tell me we can go higher. Right. Here's growth versus value, right? Growth, double top here, keep an eye on that. 78.6% Fed, notable. This is small caps. And here it is, growth value. Now, does anyone notice anything here? Just say, does anyone notice anything here? the Russell's IWM is all the way up to almost 78.6, and this is where we are right now. So this once again shows you the lack of breadth in this market, right? And this gets to that narrative that Spartan was talking about high beta names catching up. Okay, we're just here on a growth value spread. I mean, it's crazy. All right, let's take a look at some things here. We're going to look at the Dow transports because I'm a believer in the Dow transports. You know, we're at the breakout level here. I'll be honest with you because I'm in this T4. I'm in FedEx as well. Because I'm in this, I think we do get to the top end of the range here. Okay, let's just, for shits and giggles, we'll put this up top here. And we got probably a third left of this rally. But
Beth ready to pop on whenever here. Alrighty, guys, morning. What's going on? Let me just pop up the screen share. We get right into it. So if you guys are new to chat and haven't done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. You'll pop into chat. It's going to look something a little bit like this. Just going to post this real quick. A little bit like this. For sure to go to when you guys do come in, click on that disclaimer section. Give that a read, as well as go to the new to chat information section and scroll to the very, very top. So when you click on that new to chat information section, if you scroll to the top, you're going to see a couple different things. At the top here, you're going to see a link to the disclaimer right below this bolded risk reward section. Super important to understand what risk reward is, guys, in my opinion. So definitely make sure to go through this section. Breaks down, risk reward. You got a video here explaining how it actually works. Risk reward profiles on top. So you can use to match that to your account size as well as your risk reward threshold, then a risk reward calculator, which you can use to calculate risk reward on the go. Definitely very useful. Continue to scroll down, summary of how this chat works, breaks all the channels working left-hand side, so you can probably navigate the chat through the day. Important to know where you're looking. Continue to scroll down. We have how to read alerts on the options and equity side, breaking down how to understand what we're saying there. Pretty straightforward in that regard as well. Options rules that we use Monday to Thursday in regards to controlling risk, scaling and scaling out trading different price contracts there. SPX rules for the SPX ideas used every single day. Continue to scroll down. Anything with small account less than 10K. So some rules, information there that could help you grow a smaller account, in our opinion. How to pick ideas from an options or equity perspective below that. And lastly, high conviction small account trades posted in that area when they do make sense. Let's take a look at what we got going on today, guys. A couple different things. Pre-market tickers on watch. What do we got? So Tesla, Nvidia, Rita, Lilly, GNRC, and then KLR. So Tesla gapping down instead of the market. So a slight pull down there. Pretty much due to the Biden for Nvidia. Biden administration is considering a new ban on sales of AI chips to China. I'm pretty sure they'd already banned for Nvidia, so I don't think it really matters. But we'll see what happens in that regard. Rita announces approval of prior approval supplement of Sky Clarice. Lilly pushing on a piece from breaking news. You can read the rest of it there. Then GNRC Southern heat wave boosts generator demand. Generic shares rise. And I also want to just post this one as well for KLR. They got a bid for $7.25 a share. And obviously it's pushing to the upside from there. Let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint intraday. So the first two we're going to be looking at today, guys, is going to be that Tesla and that Nvidia. So let me just pop this back up here. One sec, my friends. Gonna pop this platform back up and we'll rip through this stuff real quick. There we go. Okay. A couple of things out of the way here. All right, let's get into it. So first two names we're looking at today, guys, gonna be Tesla and Nvidia. Let's have a look. So Tesla guys, pivot to the upside today is going to be right here. 247.92 levels able to hold, 256.35, 266.64 unable to hold. We look for a pullback towards 241.06 to the 233.39 on the downside. Overall, going to be leaning on the bullish neutral side here, looking for a continuation push higher if that pivot point is able to hold. Those look decent for continuation higher. We talked about that yesterday, and we'll see if that swing can continue to work today, which is nice. The video, a little bit of a pull down here. Obviously, we talked about that. So we are right through last day's low area, or we did get through it in the pre-market. We're back above it right now at the moment. Just gonna get all the pivot points here. Yeah, there we go. The semis did look like they were set up again yesterday, but obviously, when news comes out, that can definitely change things. Pivot to the downside today is going to be, in my opinion, 406.56. Levels able to reclaim 412.06, 418.57. Unable to hold 401.13.30, 395.74. Leaning bullish, I think. In front of the next quarter, guys, this is probably a blessing for a lot of these institutions. If they want to grab the semiconductors, they're going to do so. So that's Tesla. That's NVIDIA. Going to be leaning bullish on both. Bullish neutral. My guess is these semiconductors probably going to get bought up this morning. So we'll keep an eye on all of them, but that's what I'm thinking. If they want to add them, today's the day. Rita, Lily, let's take a look at these two. So Rita, a little gap up, nothing too crazy. Not bad though. Okay, pivot to the upside today, going to be 98.63, level holds 142, 102.77, 106.79, unable to hold 96.24, 94.33. Going to be leaning on the bullish neutral side of Rita, looking for a hold of that pivot, 98.63 for a continuation push to the upside today, in my opinion. Decent looking chart. Daily back above some EMA support short term. We'll see if we can get continuation to the upside. Lily, being a little bit finicky as of late, this Lily. We had that yesterday push. It's slightly pulled back. Got a pretty much big rejection there. And it was a pain in the ass. But let's see what it can do today. Just gonna get some Fibonacci extensions to the upside real quick. Uh, 468.37 pivot level holds, 471.65, 475.54, unable to hold 463.60 to the 458.56 on the downside. Overall, going to be leaning bullish, looking for a continuation push to the upside today if that pivot point is able to hold. That is Lily. That is Rita. All right, let's take a look at the next two guys, which is going to be GNRC and then that KLR, smaller one. Okay. Should suffice. I think we don't really even need to go that far out, but yeah, I didn't think so. Use last day's high. Pivot 142.02 level holds 145.12, 152.61. Unable to hold, we look for a pullback towards 135.63. If that level breaks, we got room back towards the 129.65 on the downside, leading bullish. Neutral on this GNRC, going to be looking for a continuation push higher if that pivot point is able to hold, in my opinion there. Let's take a look at KLR. So the reason I like to have the names that are getting bought out up, just in case they trade at a little bit of a discount, there's typically a little bit of opportunity to buy it on a dip. So we'll see how this thing acts out the gate. They might get a little bit of a pullback. They could see a little bit of a opportunity in that regard, but we'll see. Of course. Pivot 633, level hold 678, 6. Basically that 725 area. Unable to hold 577, 542, and yeah, we'll see how that acts out the gate. I'd be leaning bullish, obviously neutral on any pullback on that name. All right, so that's the SPY, or so those individual names. Let's take a look at the SPY and the FANG. Yeah. All right, so SPY pivot to the upside today, 436.58. Levels able to hold 438.10, 439.30. Unable to hold, we look for a pullback on the market into the 435.44, 434.24, 432.91. Going to be leaning bullish, neutral. This 436.58 pivot is going to be an important level to get through. It's the interflag range, which is a big resistance level on that flag to the upside. If we get through it, we should be off and running higher. So going to be keeping an eye on that. I am leaning bullish, neutral, looking for a continuation to the upside. I think the market looks good from a technical perspective on the daily chart, and I think we can get continuation higher, just a matter of getting above that level. Let's take a look at Apple, which has been absolutely relentless, pushing to the upside. Okay. Sorry, I gotta do some fibs here to get the next resistance levels. All right, pivot to the upside today is going to be last day's high, 188. We'll call it 49, even though it's 188.39. I'll actually move this down. Okay, 188.39. Pivot to the upside today, levels able to hold 189.29 to 190.59. Unable to hold, we look for a pullback towards 186.90 to 185.65 on the downside, leading bullish, looking for a continuation push higher if that pivot point is able to hold. It's Apple. All right, let's take a look at Amazon. It's Apple, great looking chart daily for continuation. That's for darn sure. Let's take a look at Amazon. Hit to the upside, 129.11, levels able to hold 131.73, 135.40, unable to hold 127.12 to 125.03 on the downside, leaning bullish, neutral there as well. looking for continuation to the upside today. Let's take a look at Netflix. It's had a pretty decent gap up, actually. Things looked a little bit weaker as of late, but it's starting to push back in its range. Pivot 421.48, level holds 426, 429.33, unable to hold 418.39, 411.27, leaning bullish neutral. A little bit of a downtrend break curling off the lows. As of late, I think it's got some nice room to push. All right, let's take a look at Meta. Meta's daily chart and Apple's daily chart looks pretty much the same right now, eh? All right, 389.51 pivot on Meta. Levels able to hold to get room towards, sorry, not 289.51 pivot. Level holds 297.64, unable to hold 284.70 to 277.66 on the downside, leaning bullish, looking for a continuation push higher today on this name. A lot of the FANG look good, you know. And then last but not least, we can take a look at Google. Sorry, guys, I'm running a little bit behind today. I'll pass it over to Phil Peach. Google pivot upside 117.99, level holds 120.01 to 122.39, unable to hold 115.32, leaning bullish. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pass over to South Beach, guys, while I type up the pre-market action plan, and we'll talk to you shortly. South Beach, if you're ready, it's all yours for now, my friend.
All right, hey guys. All right, let's see what we got. Bond market's kind of quiet this morning. The spread on the 210s is exactly 1. And really everything's unchanged, pretty much. The 1-year paper is at a new high. Yesterday at 534, I think it got up to. The 6-month is flirting with a high at 545. So, you know, pretty attractive yields there. And the spread is what I said. Okay, so at the high end of the range. Looking over to Europe, rates were slightly lower there as well, across the board, across the whole curve. Germany, same thing. Italy, same thing. France, same thing, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, we have these Fed governors meeting today in Sintra, which is kind of a suburb of Portugal, of Lisbon, excuse me. Nice little place, actually. So we got what? The BOJ, the BOE, who else? The ECB guy, and Powell. So that's what's on the agenda. Let's see what else we got going on today. We have commodities. Oil is basically flat, down a couple of pennies. Natural gas up a couple of pennies. Metals are quiet. Agricultural commodities, we're seeing weakness in soybeans, but after a big run, big down, a lot of volatility in that particular one. And most of these are trading, you know, in their own little situation. Cotton's like at a new low. Some are doing better than others, but nothing that really concerns us. We're more interested in oil, and we know what that's doing, right? Currency wise, dollars up against North America. It's up against the yen. It's up against the Chinese currency. We're now at 725. And the euros and the pound are basically flattish. Okay, 109, 126. Crypto wise, we got Bitcoin down 2%, Ethereum down 2%. So a little weakness there. I don't know what to make of that, but I guess dollar strength is Bitcoin's weakness. That's what we've been seeing for a while, right? So that's that. And let's look at the foreign markets. Okay, after our big rally yesterday, we have the FTSE up 0.75%. The DAX is the same, up 0.75%. And Nikkei was up 2%. That's been pretty strong. China flat, Hong Kong flat, Taiwan unchanged. Okay, so that's basically the whole situation there. As far as yesterday in the market, what did we have? We had tech strength, right? We saw the semis very strong. We had high PE tech strong. The banks were pretty good. China was pretty good. Home builders were really good. Restaurants were strong. FANG was strong. And on the negative side, we had big oil and gas and drug stocks for the most part. Okay, that was yesterday. So what do we have? Banks and Fed. We have Powell speaking at 9:30. The only thing I could think of, guys, is he's a little ticked off that the markets is as strong as it is, I think. And he's going to try to do what he does, which is, knock it down a peg. I think he'll be hawkish like last time. Markets flipping him the bird saying, we want to be in stocks, creating wealth. People feel more wealthy, yada, 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 like that. Okay. Technically, let's see if the market did that rebound on the cross. There's no cross on the 10 and 17 on the daily, and the weekly looks great on the S&P, and Qs are probably the same. Yeah, no cross yet, and everything looks okay. It looks like a flag, but we'll see. Okay. So that's the technical. So we got banks and Fed, we got China. We'll talk about them in a minute. And Russia, crypto, we discussed. Mr. Market, we just discussed, and what's working. You wait for the market to, like I sat here yesterday for the first, 35, 40 minutes and really barely pushed the button. Okay. Then the market declared itself. I went all in, made a nice day. And at the end of the day, I got pretty flat. So, I have no idea what the market's going to do one day to the next, but it feels to me like, you can trade it pretty good. The market declares itself, and then you make a bet. If it doesn't declare itself, you kind of stay small. That's what's working for me anyway. All right, so that's that. We got Powell speaking at 9:30, which I said. I think he's going to be, hawkish. I don't think the market gives a shit what he says, because it's what he does versus what he says. And as far as the market bet right now, they're betting 23% see no increase in the next Fed meeting, 77% see a quarter point raise. Who knows? All right, so that's that. BOE. This ECB chief spoke this morning. He's warning markets against pricing in a rate cut within the next 2 years. Okay, if you look at our curve, you would say to yourself, okay, well, is the market pricing in a cut in the next 2 years? And you could say, yes, it is. Okay. I mean, it's not a drastic cut, but, certainly you can make that bet. But this guy is saying what he's saying. All right, whatever. Yesterday was the first day in 7 that the Dow went up, according to Bloomberg. S&P and NASDAQ were up, 1% each, more or less. And Bloomberg is saying it was the best first half for NASDAQ in 40 years, up 29%. I didn't realize it was up as much as it was, but that's what they're saying. SPYs were up 14%. Dow, not such a great performance there, a lot less than these two. Okay, mortgage demand is growing despite the higher rates. 30-year fixed went from 673 to 675. My first mortgage was 7 3/4. So, I mean, this doesn't really freak me out in any way. So refis were up 3% in the week, but they're down 32% year over year. I don't know who would refi at these levels, but whatever. And applications were up 3%, but down 21% year over year. Okay. What else do we have? Ukraine is saying that Putin's end is coming soon. The countdown has started. Meanwhile, they had 2 missile strikes yesterday, killed 13 people, et cetera, et cetera. All right. I do think Putin's weaker than he was, but my concern is not so much that, is if he does get ousted, who's going to fill the void? Okay. I don't see any moderates in Russia. So it's concerning. I'm sure the government's concerned, but you know, this will take time to play out, and I don't think it's going to happen overnight. At least I hope not. And that's the situation with them. Okay. So the US is according to the Wall Street Journal, weighing new curbs on the shipments of these advanced chips, these AI type chips to China. That's why you're seeing weakness in, you know, the obvious NVIDIA today, AMD, and so forth. Okay, it wouldn't surprise me either way, right? So it is what it is. I think it's an initial shock. I don't think this takes the bloom off the rose for these guys in any way other than, okay, so they'll sell a little less to these guys. It's more about the future. And to quote, what's his face from Wedbush, Dan Ives, he's saying this is the fourth industrial revolution. So if he's right, and NVIDIA is at the forefront of this revolution, I don't think, you know, a curb is going to really change anything, quite frankly. But we'll see. All right. So that's that. There's a bidding war for the points bet, which is the U.S. assets of this Australian company between DraftKings and Fanatics. I mean, I think this guy who runs Fanatics is probably one of the best CEOs in the country. The guy is just a moneymaker, and I wish he had a public vehicle that I could buy. I've followed this guy for I don't know how many years now, like 7 or 8. And now he's going to get into gambling. And you can rest assured, whatever his market share is, he's going to take from these other guys. The pot is growing. So is it concerning? Probably not. But I can guarantee you this guy's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Okay. Costco is pulling a Netflix. They're cracking down on the use of their membership to, you know, other people. So that's happening there. Airlines expressing a displeasure with the FAA. They don't have enough flight attendant, you know, what do they call them? Yeah, traffic controllers. And it's really busy, the busiest time of year, and they're not happy about it. And that's what the airlines today. Pride Month, these issues are continuing to pop up. So the pendulum swang one direction to the other direction, and now we're seeing some kickback. Today it's Google. Employees aren't happy about certain things that they're doing over there, and they got their issues. Starbucks was last week. I have no opinion on it either way, but something to be talked about. This Bill Smead, who's a Smead Capital Management, a pretty good money manager. He's saying that he expects oil prices to double in the next few years. Lilly continues to ride on this new weight loss drug. I mean, these drugs, it's amazing how many people are on this stuff. I mean, I think this is going to be like, well, this is nothing new. We all know that this is major shit, right? This is not a Nirvana idea. Samsung is trying to make the world's most advanced mobile chip in a challenge to Taiwan Semi. There's a lot of recession debate going on. Different folks are saying different things. We'll get into that in a minute. The private credit market is booming, guys, because banks have increased their lending standards and they're giving out less money. So all these guys with a lot of dough, whether it's the BlackRocks of the world or whomever, are going into the business of lending out the money. So that's interesting. Fidelity filed for a Bitcoin, a spot Bitcoin ETF. So they join in with who is it? BlackRock that's trying to do it, and Wisdom Tree, I think it is the other one. All right. We saw yesterday that UBS is probably going to lay off half of the Credit Suisse employees, and that's that. So we had Seth Klarman on TV today. If you guys don't know who he is, he runs a hedge fund called Baupost. Is he the best hedge fund manager in the country? He's definitely in the top 5. Okay. Buffett said there's probably 5 managers in the country who can make money on a consistent basis, and he named this guy as one of them. Okay, so he's a real big dude. And he never speaks, but he wrote the 7th edition of Graham and Dodd's security analysis, so he came on TV to promote it a little bit. He does see a downturn coming, probably into the beginning of next year. He says that consumers are running out of dough. They should be, kind of back to where they were pre-pandemic after the end of the year. So he doesn't think that, he thinks that that's coming, but he says the investing environment, he on a 10 scale, he places at 4. There are some opportunities, but it's not the greatest environment in the world. He sees opportunities in real estate. He looks to where the damage is, and there's been a lot of damage in real estate, so that's one area he's looking. What else is he saying? He talked about how, this is kind of interesting, how security and the Graham and Dodd, when they came out with their book, they were looking to buy the cheapest stock based on metrics. And he says, the world has changed. You don't do it that way anymore. It's based on cash flow, opportunity, and the metrics. And if you just stick with the metrics, you're probably going to find yourself in trouble. You got to buy companies that are growing, that have throw off really good free cash flow, and earnings power is probably the most important thing. Earnings power and growth, not the cheapest stock. That's the real synopsis of it. Earnings power and growth, not the cheapest stock. All right, so that's him. Bill Nygren spoke. He likes a few stocks. CBRE is one he likes. Amazon, COF. Doesn't like Nvidia, too expensive. But he always goes in where other people don't want to buy. So that's his. I really don't know how good his returns are over time, so I can't really speak to that. But anyway, I think Micron reports tonight, doesn't it? Yeah, Micron reports tonight. That should be interesting. Individual names. Okay, on the long side, we had this AERO, ROIV, and LPX. OPK got FDA approval. I think Pfizer's their partner in the deal. Spirit is coming close to settling the strike there. That's a positive for Spirit and Boeing. Reda had an FDA approval. CIR got an acquisition proposal from our client at $57. I'm sure that's an opening bid. So if you think they're going to bite, it's probably an okay spot. But I would use options for sure. TOVX had orphan drug designation. And PINS got upgraded by Wells Fargo. Stock's been acting really well lately. On the negative side, we had General Mills. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Kellogg's beat numbers last week. Isn't that right? Yeah. And so General Mills missed. When you see guys in the same industry, one beats the numbers and one misses, it's eye-opening. It's probably because of management. So I think that's important too. Okay. So General Mills and NG missed. ASTS is doing an offering. That stock's down a bunch, as is MLTX. We have like 6 IPOs before week's end. So that IPO door is opening. And I think we have 2 secondaries so far planned for Thursday and Friday. Probably grows, but we'll see. Eaton, ETON, complete response, not so good. FHTX, 4 phase 1 data. CP has their investor day today. Their lead comment wasn't appreciated that well. It was kind of negative. The stock's down to deuce. EAR is laying off a lot of people, like a third of their workforce. It's down on that. CP, we discussed. NVIDIA, we discussed. The stocks, SMH, MU, AMD, Intel, all down on this. SMCI. Retail inventories came in higher than expectations, 0.8 versus 0.3. You might see a little weakness in retailers based on that, but who knows? I think the move here, guys, is just to, be very patient. Let the market declare itself. And don't get caught in the whippy bullshit that we have in every morning, okay? Because you're gonna lose. All right, so wait for the, wait for the whites of their eyes. See, maybe this is their opening at the bottom of the semiconductors. We'll see. All right, so let the market be your guide. Don't go in there and, I found not trading in the first half hour has increased my profitability quite a bit. So that's where I'm at. Anyway, let's have a good day, guys. Hump day. Let's kill it. Spartan, it's all yours.
Thank you, South Beach. All right, guys, morning. What's going on? So if you guys are new to chat and haven't already done so, make sure to click on that Discord link that's emailed to you. You're going to pop in chat. It's going to look something a little bit like this. First area to go to, First area to go to when you guys do come in, click on that disclaimer section, give it a read, as well as go to the new to chat information section and scroll to the very, very top. Top of the section, you got a link to the disclaimer as well as this pull the risk reward section. Super important to understand both. In regards to the risk reward, guys, definitely go through that section. Most important ratio in trading. So it certainly be worth checking it out. Continue to scroll down. We have summary how this chat works, breaks all the channels work on the left hand side. So you can probably navigate the chat throughout the day. That's important to be looking. Continue to scroll down. We have the how to read alerts and the options and equity side, breaking down how to read alerts from both sides. Pretty straightforward in that regard. Options rules are used Monday to Thursday in regards to controlling risk, scaling in, scaling out, trading different price contracts, etc. Below this, SPX rules that we use every single day. Continue to scroll down. We have the any of the small account less than 10K breaking down. If you do have a smaller account less than 10K, here's some rules, information, discipline you can put in place. So you have a better chance of managing that account. How to pick ideas from an options or equity perspective below that. And last but not least, high conviction small account trades posted in that area when they do make sense. Pre-market tickers on watch. Everything's posted. If you guys are watching that YouTube stream, you can simply just pause it here and read what we got going on. I'll be a little bit slower. Pause it there. And I'll pause it here. There. All right. And then, of course, you can see the options as well. Options ideas that we put out every day that Mama does. Okay, let's take a look at the pre-market tickers on watch. So a couple of different things that we're looking at today, and all the charts are posted, of course. Tesla, NVIDIA, Rita, Lilly, GNRC, KLR, Tesla gapping down safely the market. NVIDIA, Biden administration is considering a new ban on the sales of AI chips of China. NVIDIA gapping down in sympathy. Rita, Pharma announces approval of prior approval supplement for Skylars. Lilly pushing on piece from breaking news. GNRC, Southern Heatwave boost generated demand for generic share sale, and Generac, shares rise. KLR, Tata Communications agrees to acquire KLR for $7.25 a share. Let's take a look at these names from a technical standpoint intraday. First two we're looking at today, guys, Tesla and NVIDIA. Let's rip through the charts here together. So Tesla, guys, what do we got? Pivot upside today. 247.92 level holds, 256.35, 266.64. Unable to hold 241.06, 233.89. Being bullish neutral. NVIDIA pivot 406.56 level holds. They got room towards 412.06, 418.57. Unable to hold 401.13, 395.74. Leaning bullish neutral there. Let's take a look at Rita. Let's take a look at Lilly. Rita 98.63 level holds, 142, 102.77. Unable to hold 96.24. 94.33 downside, leading bullish neutral there, in my opinion. Lilly pivot upside today is going to be the 468.37 level holds, 471.65, 475.54, and it will hold 463.60 to 458.56 in my opinion on that. I'll be leading bullish neutral. Let's take a look at GNRC and KLR. So pivots to the upside today. 142.02 level holds, 145.12, 152.61. Unable to hold 135.63 to 129.65. I'm also leaning bullish neutral on this one, in my opinion. KLR 633 pivot holds, 676, 725. Unable to hold 577 to 542. I'm looking for a pullback on this one and then curl back to the upside. Basically, to buy on dips. I think it's a decent look there, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens in that regard. Let's take a look at the SPY and FANG. All right, so SPY, guys, and I always like to write this out. 436.58 pivot to the upside today. This level holds. Room higher. into the 438.10 resistance. Breaks, we see the 439.30 busted. Pivot, unable to hold. Room lower into the 435.44 support. Breaks, we see the 434 24 tested. Leaning bullish. Neutral if pivot reclaims. So we'll see what happens there, guys, on the market. If pivot can get back above or can be reclaimed, then I think, yeah, we can get a decent little push here. So pretty much same kind of action as yesterday in the morning, and we'll see how it acts out the gate. But yeah, I think it will be pretty interesting. Let's take a look at the rest of the thing here. All right, so let's take a look at Apple. Pivot to the upside today is going to be the 188.37 spot level holds 189.29 to 190.59, unable to hold 186.90 to 185.65 on the downside, leaning bullish. You're looking for a continuation push higher if that pivot is able to hold. Amazon pivot to the upside today, 129.11 level holds 131.73 to 135.40, unable to hold 127.12, 125.03. Also leaning bullish neutral there. Let's take a look at Netflix. In my opinion, Netflix 421.48 level holds. You got room towards 426.06, 429.33. Unable to hold 418.39, 411.17 downside, and leaning bullish neutral on that one, in my opinion, as well. Let's take a look at next couple names here. Meta 289.51 pivot levels able to hold. You got room towards 298.88.2, unable to hold 284.23 in the downside, leaning bullish neutral, in my opinion, there if the pivot can be reclaimed. Netflix pivot upside today over that. Let's take a look at Google. Google pivot to the upside today is you got a nice bounce off the 50 MA yesterday. 117.99 level holds 119.78 to 122.28. Unable to hold 115.32, leading bullish neutral only if that pivot point can hold. Let's take a look at the VIX, Qs, and IWM. VIX 1356 level holds 1437, unable to hold 1279. We'll be watching for the direction on the market using the VIX as per usual. QQQs pivot to the upside today is 362.69 level holds 365.44 to 369.28. Unable to hold 358.60 to 334.92 on the downside, and I'm leaning on the bullish neutral side there if the pivot can hold. And last but not least, SPX pivot to the upside today, 43.82 level holds 44.08 to the 44.52, unable to hold 43.56 to 43.28, and going to be leaning bullish neutral there if pivot can stay intact. So that's it, my friends. Those are the individual names that we're looking at today. If you guys are following me on Twitter, I am talking about that small stock pick that I do every single quarter. So stay tuned for that. If you go to the website, you go to the resource section, you'll see it actually posted already in the blog there. So, you know, a little bit of a early access if you want access to that idea. Definitely worth checking out. The last two we did quite well. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyways, if you guys want to come trade with us, you can go to SpartanTrading.com as well. And we'll talk to you guys later.